By 2020, both President Akufo-Addo and his predecessor, President John Mahama, would have occupied the highest office of the land for at least one term. They are likely to be the main contenders in the next election and would compete with their records on several fronts, including how media freedoms have fared on their watch. Well, today, as we continue our media freedom campaign, my colleague Raymond Akwa has been examining the track records of the two governments when it comes to the protection and development of the media. Here is his report read to you by Fifi Kumsin.
For us, the victory of the 28th of December is not a victory for the NPP. It's a victory for democracy and for Ghana. That's a very much more important victory than the victory of whoever is temporarily for 3 or 4 years occupying the seat of power.
I think Nana should tell this to Mr. Akufo. He was on Vibe today, and they asked him, if he would accept the outcome. And he said that if things were normal, then he should emerge as president. That is a very dangerous opinion to hold, that you can only emerge as president if things are normal.
I, John Dramani Mahama.
Vice President John Mahama took over from late President Mills with a lot of promise because of his often touted membership of the Inky fraternity.
The media, in addition to its various other roles and responsibilities, also quite often serves as a messenger of the people, bringing to light many issues that are of relevance and immediate concern to the Ghanaian public.
Indeed, it was under him in 2014 that Ghana had its best world press freedom ranking, published by Reporters Without Borders.
A member of the multimedia group was Thursday assaulted by an official of the National Health Insurance Authority at Ablekuma here in Accra.
On the other hand, it was the same year that Adom FM news editor Efia Pokua and 2 others were attacked by NIA officials. Again, assault on a journalist by presidential staffer Stan Dogbe and murder of radio broadcaster George Abanga in September 2015 were cited as cases contributing to Ghana's drop in the World Press Freedom Ranking by the US-based Freedom House that year. For General Manager of the Chronicle newspaper, Ebo Kwanzaa, these were signs that the agents of the dark days were still lurking around.
He is a communication expert, and I think he will want to promote media freedom. But as I said, some elements of the darkness who promoted the culture of darkness were still around.
If he joined President
Oh, yes. I mean, they were lurking around, so there were 1 or 2 infractions. But I think he did well.
Mr. Speaker, it is to meet.
2016 saw some legal developments favorable to press freedom. In June, the government withdrew the Interception of Postal Packets and Telecommunications Messages Bill, known as the Spy Bill, from parliamentary consideration. In November, the Supreme Court struck down 2015 Content Standards Regulations issued by the NMC, saying they were tantamount to a censorship regime.
It is my duty and my privilege to declare Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as the President-elect of the Republic of Ghana.
President Akufo-Addo's assumption of the highest office of the land was good news for media freedom, since he was the Attorney General who appealed the criminal and seditious libel laws.
As Attorney General, under the government of the great Ghanaian statesman, His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor, the second President of the Fourth Republic, I led the process in Parliament for the repeal of the criminal libel law. The repeal, when it occurred on 27 July 2001, was a very happy day for me, representing one of the high points of my public career.
Indeed, after so many years, the Right to Information Bill was passed into law. Despite these laurels, there have been deepening worries about attacks on the media and other forms of infractions that have reared their ugly heads under this administration. Ghana has recorded at least 41 violations of media rights between February 2017 and March 2019. From the murder of Ahmed Swale through the assault of Latif Idris and 20 others to the attack on media houses, and for the first time in the Fourth Republic, the eventual shutdown of radio stations including non-opposition media groups like Radio Gold and Radio XYZ.
So they held you like this?
Yes, so this way. And they asked me to sit.
So I sat. So now they could have their free way to slap me.
That's not all. There have also been detentions, threats, torture, and the seizure of equipment, all under this government. These violations have prompted critics and champions of media freedom like Dr. Charles Rekubrobe and Harunata to predict a return to the culture of silence.
It reminds me of a Dubois and Hines culture of silence. You know, the government of the party that believed in the rule of law and the freedom of speech and expression and Kabi and everything is inadvertently, because I have no evidence to suggest that it has taken specific divisions, but it's inadvertently recreating a culture of silence in Ghana.
Because of the pressure he is under now, he may now sit up and see that, look, things are not going well, and then start letting his people, maybe he's not even the one, but his people, to start modifying their attitude to the media.
This government can still turn the tide around, but will it? Well, time will tell.
Time indeed will tell, and we'll see how it goes. And still on our campaign for media freedom and attacks against journalists, the Alliance for Women in Media Africa, ALMA, has condemned the alleged assault against the Tema regional correspondent of the Graphic Communications Group Limited, Della Russell Oklu. ALMA, a body of nearly 300 women in media across the 16 regions of Ghana, has also condemned the actions of the police and is calling for investigation, accountability and consequences from those alleged actions. Esther Ama is a member of ALMA. She spoke earlier.
ALMA's call for a full investigation to the actions alleged by Ms. Della Russell Oklu. That is what ALMA is calling for. That is what is required. An allegation of assault requires investigation. And there were two allegations, the assault by the church members and then the additional alleged assault by the police. In such circumstances, an investigation is required. Of course, in journalism, it matters that we hear all the different sides to the story. But what we're requiring is that the allegation, which has been formally made, the hospital visit has been made, injuries have been sustained, this must be investigated. That's what ALMA is requiring, that's what the law requires, and that is what ALMA is demanding. We stand beside Della Russell Oklu, and we condemn the escalating violations and violence against journalists in whatever form they take. But most importantly, a thorough investigation and full transparent conclusion is required, and that is what ALMA is calling for. So we have now reached the stage where media houses must create formal policy that enables their employees who are being sent out on different assignments to be secure in their job. Journalism is a crucial part of a democracy. It is something that is valued in this country. And the idea that the act of simply doing your job consistently puts you in peril, in danger of being violated or assaulted is unacceptable. And the list is growing longer. You cannot continue to wait and remain inactive. So the call is that there needs to be policy, active policy that is about security for when journalists are out on assignment and their body, their person, their profession must be secured.
Meanwhile, the church Glorious Wave has denied attacking the journalist. They've released a statement today, and I'll go through quickly for you what that statement says. And it says, you see the church's letterhead. It says Glorious Wave Church International. It goes on and is addressing the letter to the release to the President, Ghana Journalists Association. And this is how it goes. Dear sir, actually, the topic says Tema Regional GJA condemns attack on graphic reporter and demands investigations into the case. That's a read there, so it's a reply or response to that one. It says, dear sir, I respectfully write as the head of media relations for Glorious Wave Church International based in Tema in respect of a letter/statement attributed to the GJA Tema chapter's chairman, Mr. Dominic Lodge. I wish to first and foremost draw attention to the fact that the letter or statement is not signed or dated and is not addressed to anyone in particular. It has, however, been circulated on a number of social media platforms. Given the fact that it is a chapter of the National Association, we felt we should direct a rejoinder to your good office as National as inaccuracies and falsehoods as national head of the GJA to set the record straight and alert your Tema chapter to the inaccuracies and falsehoods they have spread without the professionalism expected of them to seek the very facts from all parties. It says, we wish to state that the claims in the letter statement ostensibly made by Madam Russell Oklu about being attacked and molested by some church members during our Sunday service on 4th of August 2019 is patently false. Please see below the true details of what transpired. So it goes on and talks about what the church's perspective is of what actually happened. And let me move on to the next final paragraph that says, Madam Russell Oklu chose to rather begin clandestinely filming church members praying and giving offerings. Given the growing global security issues associated with churches in our world today, church ushers, security and protocol at Glorious Wave are required to call out any suspicious behavior. And looks like there's a bit more information down there. If we could just go down a little. It goes on to say that one of the official church photographers spotted her and drew her attention to the fact that such filming of the service without approval is unauthorized and not permitted. She refused to discontinue filming, and as such, some church ushers escorted her out of the ongoing service without ever touching her, although she was extremely belligerent. It goes on to say that the ushers present noted that Madam Russell Oklu engaged in an exchange with the police, refusing to go with them, at which point they insisted, and she was then compelled to get into the police vehicle, at which point she left the church premises. We again emphasize that at no point in time did any single member of the Glorious Wave Church International ever engage in any physical exchange with Madam Russell Oklu. In effect, she did not follow basic journalistic practice by identifying herself as present for purposes of following up on a story, as was claimed. Let's see if we can find what the final paragraph says. Pretty much a very worded release. So, well, that's the final one. Let's see. It says that it is unfortunate, to say the least, that Madam Russell Oklu chose to present such a falsified picture of what happened for reasons or motivations best known to only she alone, and by extension the chairman of the Tema chapter or GJA, who also opted not to ask our position on the matter, jumping to issue a one-sided letter. We trust you. Well, essentially, it says such behavior is embarrassment. It goes on. We trust you that you will call both Madam Russell Oklu and Mr. Holoje to order and compel them to correct the falsehoods they have circulated. Take the necessary steps to retract those lies and present the truth as widely as they did the falsehoods. In addition, we ask that you counsel the two persons to render an unqualified written apology to the church congregation, especially our head pastor, for their attempt to bring the reputation of our church community into disrepute. We are confident of your support in this regard. Yours faithfully, Pastor Wisdom Agoja, Head of Media Relations, Glorious Wave Church International. Like I said, a very worded statement from the church there. The hashtag remains defend media freedom. Defend media freedom is our hashtag. It's a campaign to protect the media space.